Hey Mitch, didn't you want to do a How Did We Do It episode? What's taking so long? Oh, right, I don't have a watch. Cruise it. Let's do it.
Hi, friends.
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
Presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and Mitch.
Yep. All right, my friends.
Yeah.
We saw that introduction. We're talking about how we started.
How we started.
Well, happy anniversary, my friends. It's our official 1-year anniversary
Yes.
of Excellent Little Podcast and Little Movie Podcast.
And just to let everybody know, we are Disney cast members. We do not speak for the brand or the company. Our thoughts and opinions are our own.
We are only Disney shills when we are working for the Disney company.
That's right. Okay, Zach, so we're going to do a little something different. Would you like to let the audience know what we're doing here?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go ahead, since this one's a little different from our average episodes, we're going to go ahead and split this into two areas here. Mm-hmm. First is going to be kind of like the story of how we started, of how we got to our first episode of our top 10 most anticipated movies of 2022, and eventually how we got to our first review of Scream. And then we'll go ahead and dive into the tips and tricks that we would give for anyone's like first year of podcasting.
Absolutely. Okay, my friends, strap in. Because we got a doozy.
Well, and especially, Mitch, you've continually been asking to do this episode for a while. And I have been like, yeah, we should definitely do it, but let's do this first.
Yeah.
Let's do this first. Let's do that first. And then we eventually came down to, you know what? This would be a good anniversary episode. So my friend, Mitch.
Let me do it.
You gotcha.
All right. So not quick summary, but how it started was Zach and I met through work and talked about movies off the clock. We both loved, Spider-Man No Way Home, talked about Black Widow and other things. And we also noticed we enjoyed like Oscar-worthy films. And then so 2021 became 2022 and I was driving to and from the grocery store and I'm like, you know what? Let's start. I feel like I could do I had done YouTube before and I'm like, you know what? I want to do a podcast.
Sure.
And Zach, we both have a very good relationship, both friendship and working relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I messaged Zach and I said, hey, would you be open to a film review podcast? And literally not 2 minutes go by and
I'm not gonna lie, I was actually also driving back from the grocery store. I was in my car. I was literally gonna turn onto the street before I like my old apartment, and I got that notification. I was at a stoplight. I was like, holy shit, yes.
Yeah, and he immediately said, absolutely, let's do it, because you had tried it before and we planned. I'm like, okay, so we got to see a movie and we want to do other episodes, but we met each other first at work.
Yeah.
And we talked off the clock. Hey, how do we get this started? So first, we came up with our rating system.
Yeah.
And that was your idea.
Yeah, because I was like, we want to make sure that we do something at least a little different for our reviews to kind of make us stand out just a little bit.
Yes.
And we also want to make sure that we don't kind of tie ourselves down to like a specific, like, well, why is
not like
this
stars
this and why
or
is this
2 thumbs up or something like that.
Why are you giving like this like AAA movie like a like
2-star,
4-star and are you saying that's equal to like a Casablanca?
Right.
So like
or The Godfather.
So I had always been working on this system for like an eventual, because I wanted to do something like a movie review or something. So that system had been in my tank a little bit, but Mitch helped me refine it a little bit more, and we kind of worked on it.
And my grandmother helped with one category.
Yeah, one that hasn't made an appearance just yet.
Yeah, it's close.
We've gotten close.
Yeah. All right. So we came up with that, and obviously we didn't want to wait any longer, so we decided we got to start that January, which is January 2022. That was the thing. And we came up with our original first meeting was we were gonna record the top 10.
Yep.
But my mic was bad.
Yeah, because you brought a USB mic for it.
And you want to take us a little bit more into that?
So
because we started our first episode, our meeting was at 4 p.m.
Yeah, so we met up at my apartment at 4.
I got a haircut that day.
You got a haircut that day, and you brought the mic, and I was like, ooh, this isn't gonna work with the mixer that I have. So let's go ahead and let's get you a new mic, a good mic, but I'm not going to make you spend like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
So we went to George's Music Store, RIP. They did close not too long ago, so I'm a little sad about that. But they were a great store. They were out by Universal, and we got a PD70 PreSonus, which was like about 70-ish bucks.
I think it was around the 100 range.
I gotcha. Yeah, that was roughly about it. And I didn't want. We were looking for
a good mic,
but so we were willing to spend like a decent amount of money, but we didn't want to like
break the bank. So the PD70 was a really, really good one that we are using, and this is the ones that you're actually seeing literally that we're still using today. That's right.
So we get the mic, we get a cord, we move on down, and we set up, and I start setting everything up, and I think that's the next one.
That's right. So my turn. Zach, would you mind?
Right, yeah, because I discovered that the cord that we got still wouldn't work with
your mixer.
With the mixer
that you had.
And I was looking at it and I was fussing with it, and then you looked at me and you're like,
yeah, because you said,
God damn it.
Because there was a gentleman that offered a mixer.
There was, yes.
And he said that, and I go, are we going to go get that mixer?
We're getting that mixer.
We drove back.
We drove back to George's.
Yeah,
got
and we
the mixer.
And cables.
And
then we drove back. So by this time, it's around 6-7 o'clock-ish.
Yep.
And we discovered we didn't have the correct cords to hook the mixer up to the laptop.
Yep.
So it's still not late, but we kind of looked at each other and like, okay, we got to go to Target and get the cords, and then we can come back and we can record because we want to do our top 10.
Yeah.
And so we proceeded to Target to get a USB aux to USB cord, and we realized that we bought the cord. And we got pizza.
Yep.
Yeah, and I got a Coke and he got a Sprite. He chugged it
in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, and
I was thirsty.
Yeah, and we got pizza, and you downed that pizza too. And so from Domino's, by the way.
From Domino's.
And we start hooking everything up. And Zach kept like desking like, hello, and everything. Hello. And I kept making fun of him for it. And then finally, we realized we bought the wrong cord, but George's had already closed.
Yeah.
So Zach. Yeah.
I remembered that there's a Guitar Center that's a decent amount away, but it's also going to be closing soon. And enough time for us to get there and go back without us showing like 5 minutes before they goes and going, hey, we're coming in.
Yeah.
But I wanted to put in an online order, so that it would be ready so we could just go in and get out. So I placed the online order and we start driving there, and then I realized,
I think I was the one that realized it.
Oh yeah, you're the one that realized it. You're like, Zach, I was like, what? That's for New York City. You placed an order for a Guitar Center in New York City. And I was like, oh, you're kidding me. So so I then re-put in the order in the correct Guitar Center,
and you called
the New York City Guitar Center,
and you were making the biggest prank call.
And it sounds like a prank call, but I was like, hey, so I put in an order, and
I live in Orlando.
I live in Orlando, and the guy just wasn't getting it.
Yeah,
like, he was like, but. Are you coming? Are you coming soon? I was like, no.
I could get a flight.
I live in Orlando, but okay. But like, when are you picking? And I was like, sir,
I'm not.
Unless I somehow purchase a ticket and I'm calling you on the flight right now, there is no way I'm going to be in New York by the time that this is here. Like, I'm not buying a plane ticket to New York City. Like, just cancel the order and give me a refund. And he's like, okay, but I think you can still no, cancel it.
He wasn't getting
He just
it.
really wasn't getting it. So eventually he canceled it, and I did get my refund. And we pull up, we go to Guitar Center, we get the cord. And
It's
by
10
this
o'clock,
point,
yeah.
it's 10 o'clock.
And so,
And we're in the Guitar Center parking lot, and we're just like,
yeah, we're gonna have to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we both had to work the next day, and so we're gonna push it and record it. Our first episode the following week. It was still gonna be our top 10.
Yep.
And we recorded the top 10,
and it was fun. It was.
Yeah.
We had a
Yeah.
whole bunch of fun doing that one.
and we decided. And at first we were gonna do the 355, but we had saw that movie previously. I remember.
Not just yet. We saw.
Well, because in our top 10 at the end, we said we were going to do Scream.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So we had seen it previously. And then we were going to make that our second episode after our top 10.
Yeah.
But then we saw 355 and we hated it. So we decided, okay, let's record our top 10 and we will decide to go to have Scream.
To skip over 355 and go straight to Scream.
And now, a year later, thank you all so much for joining us.
Literally
because now we have our podcast at Spotify. We have a YouTube channel now. We have a Twitch. Thank you for whoever joined us for that first stream.
Yep.
It was super fun.
And then we also have
a TikTok.
And we have at this point, I believe, we should have at least the prologue for the Ghost of the Months out,
Yeah.
at least, with, I believe, our first episode of January is actually premiering right after this.
Right after these messages.
Literally after we get done with posting this, it's going to be posted as well. So thank you for holding on for that one.
Yes. So we finished our summary. Thank you for joining us for that. And, Zach came up with an idea that, a lot of people have asked me for sure. I think, have they been
A
asking?
couple, yeah.
They want to know how to get started in a podcast or YouTube channel. Some tips and tricks.
Yeah.
So I will start one and then we can
we
branch
can bounce
off.
back and forth.
Yeah. So the first one is, and this was your idea, you got to have an outline.
Yeah.
Have something in front of you, not like obvious to where like you're looking and everything, but have it to where you can glance off of if you lose track of what you're doing. Have it out, have it ready, and just have basic information that where you can look at it and you can tell your audience what you need to do to get your point across. And that you can definitely attest to this.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, it's just that.
Know your schedule.
Yeah, know your schedule, because it's obviously the more people that you put into a podcast, the more schedules you're gonna have to like differentiate and whatnot. But it's easier and we've run into this now that we've actually transferred to different lines of businesses now.
We're in the same line of business, just different parks.
Different parks. But like before, me and him had like the exact same days off and we could rely on that. Now we are very much, we have to know each other's schedules because now we have different days off. Now we have
different times,
hours that we're working. So it's a whole lot different in terms of that. But also for knowing your schedule, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the outline, knowing what you're talking about and knowing roughly how much time you're going to spend on each topic is also a very good thing to have and know.
Yeah,
because as you kind of can see throughout the all of our episodes, we've been trying to trim our time down a little bit. We wanted to at first just to focus on just talking and making sure that was fluid at the beginning. But as we started going, we tried to start like saying like, okay, let's try to spend only this much on cast performances. Let's try to spend this much on here. Let's limit how many cast performances we talk about, and then kind of like limit and give us our like a time limit as to like how much. That way we could like make it a little bit more concise for everybody, and give us a little bit more time on exactly what we're doing.
Absolutely. The next tip that I would definitely say is if you are doing it by yourself, know your audience, know who you're talking to, because Zach and I, we know each other.
Yeah.
We know what we like to talk about. I know he likes to go into detail. He knows I like to do short, sweet, to the point. Yep. We both, the way that we do it here, we're talking to each other, but we are welcoming you all in to these conversation. Even though you're technically not here, we're welcoming you into the conversation that you're talking about. If you're doing it by yourself, you're only talking to yourself and to the camera. But in my opinion, when you do that, you got to talk to the audience like your best friend. You pointed that out when we were trying to figure this out.
Exactly. And as well, like, especially when you start, the only person that's probably listening to these are your family and friends.
Absolutely.
So, like, why ignore that? Mm-hmm. So, I know at the beginning, at one point, I think our top 10 was listened to, like, a couple of our coworkers and pretty much friends and family at that point. Mm-hmm. Then after that, it started dropping a little bit, and it was just family for me that was listening. But now that we've kind of opened up to YouTube, now that we've been starting to do a little bit more, we've been starting to welcome in some new more friends. Yeah. So
we actually had somebody from Russia.
We had. Thank you, Vladimir Putin, for subscribing to our channel. Stop the war on. Please, for the love of God, stop.
Well, didn't you say we had somebody from Australia?
We had 7 listeners from Australia.
Hi, everybody.
So, like, we're expanding.
Yeah,
so,
literally.
So we're really excited to have you.
Just know who you're talking to. That's it. Like, even if you like get successful and you start to branch, just know what your audience wants from you, and just be honest with them. Yeah. Don't be lying, and don't. And this is something that Zach and I have noticed since we've worked for the Walt Disney Company. Yep. And yes, we are cast members. We don't speak for the brand or the company. Thoughts and opinions are our own. We do run into a lot of vloggers.
Yep.
That think they enjoy their fans' company and they love their fans. I'm sure they do, some of them, but. Yeah. Majority of them do not.
Yeah.
Be honest with your audience.
Yeah. We love you guys.
If you appreciate your audience, mean it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Zach and I've run into somebody.
Yeah, I've run into a couple.
Yeah, and they love it. They absolutely love it. And please come up to us. We'd love to talk to you. Yeah, absolutely. Email us, call us. I don't care. Do whatever.
Heck, if you want to be on the show, come on. We'll actually bring you on the show. So.
Absolutely. But no, Zach, this is your repertoire. This next bit.
My next bit, and we kind of alluded a little bit to it during how we started. Buy equipment that is right for you.
Yes. Even if it's budget.
Even if it's budget. Just because it's on the cheaper side doesn't mean that it's bad per se. If you are doing this just as a hobby, there's no reason to spend like
thousands of
dollars on equipment. Just buy what you need. Mm-hmm. Like when we started, we only had what's called a 2-channel mixer, which means that only 2 people really can use it, or 2 microphones can use it. Mm-hmm. You know, you can like set up a microphone between multiple people and be like, hey, and like have a person here, and all use one microphone. Mm-hmm. It's possible. But it was all we needed was just a 2-channel.
Yeah.
And me and you even made like a pact of like, hey, we're just going to be the 2 of us at least until October.
Yep.
So we really didn't need anything. And now here we have our beautiful Yamaha right behind you. Which
Zach has a really good camera now.
We now have a really good camera. Like we upgraded because we wanted to and not because of like other outstanding circumstances. Yeah. And it's because of what we want to do as we grow. But again, don't feel forced that like I need to have like the best of the best in order to like succeed, because that doesn't really matter ultimately.
Well, and it also segues into the next topic is find out where your goals are. Don't just do it just because like, oh, I want to make a ton of money. I want to get thousands and thousands of subscribers in 2 weeks. That's not going to happen. We didn't see real growth out of our podcast until what?
Really, YouTube.
In reality, well, I started seeing...
Well, The Northman was our first biggest hit with 26 listeners.
Mm-hmm. But also, and it goes with our schedule, you got to be consistent.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent. You can't take... We both looked at each other like we can't take breaks. We got to do
at
weekly,
least one a week.
One a week.
Yeah, and we've noticed as well, if you take a break like we have done, and we've taken breaks for various reasons,
illnesses and
but whenever we take a break, it hits our numbers pretty hard.
yes, it does, because we're new.
Because we're new. So yes, we have our tried and trues, which we love you, we thank you.
Yeah.
But whenever it comes like to new listeners, it takes us a while to regain the same amount of new listeners as we were getting before.
But then we also talked about doing YouTube, and we were still getting consistent listeners, I felt. And then we did the Disney cruise.
Yeah.
Which also
leads into our next thing.
Yeah.
Don't be worried to try new or different things.
Yeah, because we
took an immediate left turn for that cruise. We went from movies to frickin' vacation. Very, very different, but very, very needed.
Well, and it does something that me and Zach, I think we would be really good at, is park vlogs.
Yeah.
And Disney vlogs. And if you want us to do Universal
vlogs, like literally, and like, or just like us walking around like Celebration Florida.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that. Yeah.
It like, don't limit yourself to one thing. And that's ultimately what I think our biggest goal of 2023 is like just stepping out of Little Movie Podcasts, not stopping Little Movie Podcasts.
We're still going to do this.
But trying new things.
Like my Twitch channel.
Yeah.
We did a stream the other day. Zach and I had a blast. Now, yes, I know Zach says I'm taking point, and then he's not wrong, but I open up. I want Zach to stream as well. I want him to try. I want him to do it. I've done it before. I know what it does to be a success. I have multiple friends that are streamers, but I want Zach to try. I want Zach to do as much as he can in order to see. I want to see him grow as a streamer. I think he'd be a great streamer.
And I also am really excited to also help, because that was one thing that we also were finding when we were doing the cruise, was just how much and how little we know about like moving with a camera.
Yes.
So like me teaching Mitch just like a few basic things when we were on the cruise was really fun and really helpful, which made us go, oh yeah, we totally could do park vlogs if we wanted to.
Absolutely.
So we'll be looking forward to that. But another thing that we also want to kind of let you guys as our last like kind of tip that we want to make sure that
have fun.
That's the biggest thing.
Yes.
Again, never go into this thinking you're going to monetize, because we're a year in and we're not even close to monetization. Not even close.
And I know a lot of people that they didn't hit monetization for a couple years.
So like yes, we treat this as a growing business, but don't go into it thinking that you are going to return on investment right away or in 6 months. It takes time. You got to grow, but the best way to grow it is if you're having fun with it. Like,
and we've been having a blast.
We've been having such a blast.
Yes.
It's not every day that you get to like do something with your friend as fun as this. And literally A-list is like the best thing to ever happen to movie reviewers ever.
Yes.
So we love seeing the amount of movies that we get to see for as cheap as we get to see.
Right.
And we get a really wonderful backdrop of Disney Springs to go do our movies. Like, it's so much fun.
And we're able to get a lot of content at Disney Springs. Like if, say, we want to do like our trips that we've been doing on TikTok. Like if me and Zach want to do some shopping at World of Disney and buy some pins, we can make TikToks on that.
Oh, yeah.
We have, or we can do a Disney Springs vlog where we can try new restaurants, or maybe if we want to do some park hopping or whatever. Zach and I, we live in an area where we can do a lot of stuff
and have fun while doing it.
Absolutely we do.
So that's really our biggest tips and tricks for it.
Yeah.
If you have any other questions or anything you want to know, please definitely email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com.
But don't forget to leave us.
We're always here to answer any questions for you.
You let me. Don't forget to leave us a like, subscribe, comment. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And like Zach said, email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. But until next time, friends,
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are...
excellent little podcast.